What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Plus Added Time here on Project Dits. Sorry that we missed a week. We tried to break away and start the European Super Project Dits, and unfortunately, the sanctions from Dits were that we had to sit in the naughty corner for a week. But how are you, Dar?
Good, yeah. The fans were against it,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I just wanted to make as much money as possible.
Yeah, there was a one-person protest outside my house.
Your parents again.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing to do with the podcast. Just protesting me. Oh, but how are you? Your kit's disgusting.
I'm good. Yes, thank you. Yeah, for anyone listening on an audio platform, I'm wearing the 0809 away kit, the sort of the grey, the Torres kit. I think it's remembered, isn't it? It's the kit we wore when we bet United at Old Trafford 4-1. Good game, Nathan.
Yeah, it was my favorite game of all time. The more
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
about it, the
Me
more.
too. Funny enough, yeah.
Yeah, we're not really going to touch on the weekend that just happened. We're obviously going to talk Super League in a minute, but we're not going to talk about our sides, just boring draws. But so let's talk about the 4-1 game instead.
I'm okay with that.
Good good sides, good memories of the game. You must have been about six.
Yeah, fair off. I would have just turned eight. Just
Oh,
turned eight, yeah.
getting to see Anderson in his prime.
Yeah, because I don't think Anderson ever played except against Liverpool because Ferguson used to think he could stop Gerrard, and I don't remember that happening. I could be wrong. I mean,
I don't
you know,
remember that happening. I don't remember Anderson doing anything other than when we
exactly.
signed him, we thought we were signing like the next greatest player in the world.
He cost about, like you're talking, I think he signed him 2007, and I think he cost about 25 million at the time. He was a lot of money.
Yeah, for younger fans, that was a lot of money back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, like these days, 25 million, like,
Gets you
well,
Harry Kane's toenail.
yeah, gets you one and a half Dan Jameses. But but there it was. He really thought when we signed Anderson that we were signing Scholes' replacement, and Scholes would finally be allowed to retire. He'd wanted to since about 2005.
And he had to come out of retirement. It flopped that bad.
But yeah, he wasn't great. We thought we were going to have Carrick and Anderson, and that was going to be it for like the next decade.
I'm thinking, what memories do you have of the game? Because obviously I remember it very fondly myself.
Honestly,
Do you remember much?
all that's left in my memory of Anderson is the MK Dons game.
Was he playing in that game?
He
He's
started that game.
still at the club.
That was just before he went out on loan to wherever he went, Lazio,
He was.
maybe. I don't remember, but he,
You're telling me Anderson played for Manchester United until 2014?
yeah, he started the MK Dons game.
Oh my god, that's a weird one. All right.
Yeah,
So he played
He-
alongside the likes of Nick Powell
yeah,
and
Joe Riley.
Joe Riley and Cameron Borthwick Jackson. That sort of time period. I'm probably wrong.
God, that Louis Van Gaal season when we had Paddy McNair, um, whatever the other defender was called. Oh, what's he called?
Don.
Blackett, Tyler
Oh,
Blackett,
Tyler Blackett.
and then
Yeah, yeah,
Cameron Borthwick Jackson,
yeah.
who's now at Oldham. The only thing about Cameron Borthwick Jackson is
His
that
name?
his name is it's one of those names you have to say all of it.
Yeah.
But also, he had a sweet left foot on him. He couldn't defend, which is a shame because he's a left back. He couldn't really attack, but if you got him up the pitch and you let him hit a crossing, he had a great left foot. Probably still does.
So Trent Alexander-Arnold is the new Cameron Borthwick Jackson, is what you're saying, just on
Jesus.
opposite flanks.
But other than that, Anderson memories. All I remember is the hype, being really disappointed, and then MK Dons. And presumably he played a few games in between that.
Against Liverpool in March 2009, apparently.
Yeah,
Yeah,
apparently so. Trying to stop Steven Gerrard.
went well.
Oh, who knew that all we needed was Ander Herrera to stop Steven Gerrard?
I think Steven Gerrard stopped himself in the end. The poor chap. But
Well,
yeah, just my favorite memory of that game is Nathan, your favorite player, Andrea De Sena. It's a long ball from Pepe Reina who kicks it long. I think Ryan Babel goes up to contest the header. He misses it, and then De Sena's one-on-one with Van der Sar, and he just like dinks it on the half volley over Van der Sar to make it 4-1. And scenes of jubilation in the front room when we were watching that all those years ago.
Vidic
Cool.
getting sent off.
Yeah, that was the second of 3 consecutive red cards. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, you got to say for Vidic, that was as big a dip as he ever had at United. But man, did he time it bad.
Yeah. Pulls down Steven Gerrard, and then Aurelio scores the free kick to make it 3-1. And earlier on in the game, what did he like? He doesn't header the ball. Yeah, he doesn't header it. He lets it bounce, and then Torres gets in behind him and slots it away to put us level. Yeah,
He
it was a bad
hates
game.
Fernando Torres.
Bad game. Yeah.
You don't know what it is. Like, loads
So
of
does Peter
people,
Crouch.
you see people like United fans, typical, like, very sensitive football fans, as all football fans tend to be at times. But I remember when it was Torres's, that big photo came out of him as looking like a beefcake because now he's a big boy. And so obviously here come the threads of Twitter fans saying about how United fans say Vidic never had a bad game at Torres. Torres only scored this many goals against United or blah 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 blah. No, he couldn't.
He got
I don't know if he was
straight
distracted by how beautiful Torres
cards.
was back in the day.
Many people were.
Oh
I
yeah.
still am. Yeah.
Yeah. Not so much now because now he just looks like a bouncer. But I'm telling you, as a United fan who was watching every game back then, he could not function near Fernando Torres. He
Yeah.
turned into, I don't know what, Titus Bramble the moment he saw Fernando Torres.
They say that I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it Rafford, Steven Gerrard? Some of them were talking, and they used to say that the object of the games when we played in that sort of time period was for Gerrard to sort of be in like the number 10 position, trying to like drive forward and trying to get Torres to isolate Vidic sort of in one-on-ones because he knew he had to run on him, unlike with Ferdinand, because Ferdinand was more mobile, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, Torres against Ferdinand. Like I would back Ferdinand 9 times out of 10, but you always got to put Torres. You're always going to put him on Vidic. You always put him on the less mobile striker, and Vidic was too. Vidic was more kind of the old school. He will smash you if he can get near you. But Ferdinand's great on the ball. And I mean, that's not like Vidic, absolute world class defender. It's just, as Peter Crouch has been saying lately, everyone has a Fernando Torres. Vidic just literally had one.
Yeah. Still has nightmares. I wonder does he still look back on that with a tainted view?
I mean, probably. We'd have to ask him. He always seems like he does interviews for United's like podcasts every now and then, and he always comes across like a good guy. He's not really talked about Torres yet, though. I was always surprised, like, if we. This is how boring the games were at the weekend. We're talking about the match from 14 years ago, whatever it was. But I was always surprised when he did start Ferdinand and Vidic against Liverpool back in the day, because I know Johnny Evans and that was young back then. But I would have thought at some point Fergie might have just put 2 mobile defenders because we had the beating of you guys in the air. We didn't really need to worry about that.
I think you're just a better team in general. That was the sort of Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo, that sort of 3, and then you still had like Scholes, Carrick knocking about Evra, and Gary Neville still the right back at that stage. I think he would have been.
He was there. He was there physically, but he
would
have retired. No, it was 2011 when he retired.
Yeah,
he was mostly injured back then, and he wasn't playing a lot of games.
Yeah.
Gary Neville back for the last couple of seasons. He probably did still play 30 plus a season.
Who did you put right back? So was it Wes Brown or John O'Shea?
John O'Shea, yeah. And then we weren't far away from Raphael and his brother coming in.
Oh yes. Or were they the De Silva brothers? I think.
Yeah, the De Silva brothers, that well-known gang.
We all remember Fabio for his time at QPR and Cardiff.
I remember them from one game, and it was an FA Cup game. I can't remember who we were playing, but Fergie did that thing where he just decided to just throw a team at a bit of paper. So we just had Raphael and Fabio starting on the wings instead of fullback.
Oh God!
We won the game.
I think you played like Raphael as like a CDM at one point, didn't you?
He has a good pass on him. Like I think he's still playing in France now. No, he's playing in Turkey now. He always had a good pass on him, and he had that one goal as well from the edge of the box.
Jeez, I don't even know that. Who did he score against?
Can't remember who it was against, but I know he chested it down and just volleyed it in the top corner from like one of the corners of the box. It was like the one thing he ever did for United,
That's yeah.
apart from winning those trophies.
Well, Raphael scoring a goal sounds like the end of the world. Speaking about the end of the world, the European Super League, Nathan. What about it?
Yeah, it was fleeting. Like it's like one of those. It's like after you've had a few drinks at the pub, you start telling your mates about this amazing business idea you've got. But instead of playing out in front of five also drunk people and then never being mentioned again, it decided to play out across the world, and a bank got involved,
It
which is never a
was
good thing.
very weird because when we last did one of these, it wasn't even. I mean, it was still like always like rumored in the background or whatever, but there was no like real concrete like plan that it was ever going to happen. And then it just one night, it just went mental, didn't it?
Yeah, across about a day and a half,
Yeah.
it happened because there was about a 2 hour period where the European Super League got announced, as everybody knows, and then Jose got sacked
Yes. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
about the same couple of hours, and then kind of by the next afternoon it was over.
It was sort of on its final legs, and then just slowly, one by one, everyone just sort of pulled out. No one wanted to be the first to leave, and then no one wanted to be the last to leave. But thankfully, Chelsea were the first to leave.
Yeah, Chelsea, then City, then was it Arsenal, then us, then you lot. I think this is just going by when the announcements were made
Yeah, I think
as
we're
well.
still
Like,
in it, to be honest.
I don't think you ever made an announcement. Your owner just apologized.
I'm so sorry. Cheers, John. But I think one of the weirdest things for me was that first of all, they didn't have the bottle to like announce it at a
No.
reasonable time. They didn't announce it like I don't know at rush hour. They announced it at about 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was still awake at the time, and because there'd been murmurings during the who were you playing at? Was it who were you playing that weekend?
Oh, God knows. Burnley, I think.
Was it Burnley? Was it? And there was sort of ongoing commentary as it was sort of happening, and then at whatever 11:30 on the Liverpool Football Club official website, was it Joel Glazer had a
Yeah.
statement out announcing the breakaway, and I'm like, oh, this is exactly who I want to be seeing on the
On the
on the
Liverpool.
Liverpool website, and it wasn't just the Liverpool website; it was all the
Mhm.
six, I think. So it sort of gave an indication as to who was really behind it. And I'm not saying Manchester United were behind it, but the Glazers and John W. Henry were definitely the spearheads, weren't they?
Well, it was Florentino Perez,
Well, yeah,
the Juventus chairman, the one that's not called
Ag-
Allegri, but it looks like
Agnelli.
him. Agnelli, yeah. The Glazers. Ed Woodward says he wasn't involved, but I mean, you have to be stupid to believe that. And then obviously the Americans. So what really happened here was, I think, that Juventus, Barcelona, and Real Madrid are skint. That's not a secret. Apparently, Barcelona, it was reported the other day, now the Super League's collapsed. They've got nearly a 350 million euro hole, financial hole in the club at the minute.
Oh no.
Oh no, poor guys. And
Oh.
that does suck. And so the Glazers and John W. Henry, it looks like they just tried to exploit this and be like, well, here's an idea. We've got this bank loan that we're calling a financing package.
Do you reckon they thought JP Morgan was like the rum company and they were going to get a load of free alcohol out of it? And
Probably.
they went, oh no, it's a bank. What is this? I've never even heard of this.
It was such a stupid idea, and it was one of those things that was so tasteless that it kind of sucked all your love of football away.
Yeah, there was
Because
there was that period, wasn't there, where everyone just kind of went, oh, what's the point?
yeah, pretty much. Because I spent like the next kind of day just being really disappointed and really like, oh, that's the end of like being really dramatic about it, obviously, and being like, oh, that's the end of Manchester United for me. Like, if this has happened, thanks for the memories. I'm not going to watch this. Right, and because you guys played Leeds
Yes.
in another fantastic, boring Leeds match, and but because of what got announced the day before, because it was still happening then, there was literally nothing on the match
There was
because
no build up to the match whatsoever. They didn't even announce the team sheets on Sky.
yeah, because you obviously you're still chasing top four now that it's collapsed, but at the time, top four didn't matter.
Yeah.
Leeds aren't getting relegated and aren't going to finish. presumably aren't going to finish in the European places. They're quite far off. So it was like it just suddenly became a friendly.
Yeah, it didn't matter. It really had no consequences what happened either way. So I wasn't overly disappointed. I mean, I was still obviously annoyed when we conceded late from a corner, but I sort of felt like, it is what it is. It's
Yeah.
not gonna. It doesn't really change anything for next season. And now looking back, I feel like an absolute idiot. Could have doubled those
Now
3
that
points.
late Leeds goal is actually might cost you because guys, we are a couple. It really ruined our build up to United Liverpool, or is it
Yeah,
Liverpool United? Where is it taking place?
United, Old
Oh, it's
Trafford,
at Old Trafford this
somewhere
time.
in this.
Yeah, and yeah, so instead this Sunday, if Chelsea have won before we kick off, we could take Champions League football from you. How does that make you feel?
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, I can't wait for that. And if you win, aren't you mathematically you finish above us? I think it is.
Yeah, I think we're 12 points clear of fifth at the minute. A win pretty much uh like guarantees us Champions League football. Not that it matters because we're going to win the Europa League, it turns out.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure, we'll touch on that later.
We'll touch on that in a bit, but yeah, we could be the ones to do it. You could come to Old Trafford.
A place
As
where we have such a good record in the past. I love going there every year. We always come. We always win.
what's annoying is you're probably going to win. Just to ruin it for
I
everyone.
would not. I will not shut up about it if we beat you. It doesn't matter if we end up finishing fifth. That's the one thing I have to hold over Manchester United.
I think all that I hope happens because I'm guessing to very briefly touch on the Leeds game. I'm guessing it turns out Ollie was a genius to rotate. Like, who cares about the Leeds match after what happened against Roma?
I do,
But
just not the United one.
so part of me was like, crap, we got Liverpool, but we got the Europa League. We're not going to win the Prem, so are we going to rotate against Liverpool? But now it turns out we don't need to. So,
Woohoo!
so let's
I
get
can't wait.
Cavani and his weird face plaster. I can only presume he cut himself shaving or something.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, just to I suppose we'll just finish up on the Super League. It was a bit sort of bitchy at one point, wasn't it? Like you said, the Juventus chairman was like the godfather of the UEFA guy,
Mm.
and basically just turned his back completely on him, which I love. It means that much to this Juventus guy, and then it was over and about. I think I've had sleep longer than that.
Well, like no money changed hands, which is what Florentino Perez keeps arguing that all the clubs signed a contract. There's no way out of it. But then, so people saying, well, when the contracts only became valid for like sanctions if money had changed hands, like that loan from JP Morgan that wasn't a loan, um, hadn't actually happened. So
Yeah,
it's not
apparently.
worth anything. Like it's just done. But really, what like Ed Woodward resigned when it had collapsed. Thank God. Like I don't know what he's
Is that party still going
supposedly
on?
he was leaving at the end of the year anyway. Yeah, sure you were. Ed.
Yeah,
So
but
he's stepping down in the next few months, and there's massive pressure on the Glazers, on your owners, FSG or whatever they're
yep,
called,
yep.
the Cronkies at Arsenal, Chelsea fans. They're not going to be able to get rid of Roman
No,
Abramovich.
not a chance.
They're not even protesting against him and Daniel Levy and whoever owns Spurs
Yeah,
to get out.
and the Kroenkes at Arsenal, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, like you said, because the Super League never officially sort of took off. The sort of reparations, is it reparation? I think that's what I'm thinking of.
yeah.
Yeah, reparations aren't going to be as severe, but Josh Kroenke, the son of Stan Kroenke, was doing a fan forum for Arsenal, and he said that some fees did have to be paid over the European Super League, but he stressed, and this is the Kroenkes talking, that Stan is going to pay for the money out of his own pocket and not take it out of the club. So make of that what you will.
He's going to pay it out of his pocket, but then hand in an expenses form to Arsenal. I don't
Gonna
believe
release Gunnersaurus again.
the guy who signed Willian on a 3-year deal. Good player, but he was 32 at the time. isn't. Yeah, He's not doing anything like that. I'm presuming that I don't know what fees would have been paid, but it's such a stupid idea. It is like just investing in your mate's terrible idea and then
Yeah.
finding out they never did it.
Feels like something you do like on a night out with your friends, and then you think back and you're like, did we actually do that? And you're like, yeah, we did. And you're like, oh, do you want to just not talk about that again? Yeah, it's probably for the
Pretty
best.
much. But yeah, at least it's over. The Champions League format that's going to be coming instead is still stupid. It adds more games to a congested schedule.
Is that definite? If they like signed
Mm.
off on all those,
I mean, it doesn't have to happen. Obviously, UEFA can change their mind. It's their competition. But
yeah,
that at the minute, it's going up to 36 teams. It's going to be more games.
it's the two legacy. Is it the legacy spots they call them or whatever? It's them two that sort of. It feels very Super Leaguey.
Who the legacy spot's going to go? Like, presumably, it's going to go to whichever big team misses out on top four, and they go, "Oh well, Juventus are still
Yeah,
in because they're a legacy club." Not like Nottingham Forest, who have like 3 European trophies in their legacy.
I saw apparently if things were to like stay as they were and the legacy spots were up for grabs this season, it would be Liverpool and Borussia Dortmund who got them, which I would hate. I would hate to get into the competition off something like that. Do you imagine? I don't know, like if West Ham were to finish fifth and we ended up finishing eighth, but we still got in because of this legacy bonus.
Yeah, the legacy spots they do just exist to get the biggest sides that miss out on,
Yeah,
like which are looking like it's going to be. Well, Borussia Dortmund are only a point behind fourth now because no one in the Bundesliga wants to be top four. Juventus are level with Napoli at time on points, I think, and so Juventus are in fourth, Napoli are in fifth, and Napoli actually haven't lost a game I think since February now. So Juventus are in real trouble.
that could be a week. That could be 6 months. I don't know. I've lost all track of time.
Yeah, Napoli are doing really well at the minute, and so I don't like the legacy spot things. It just stinks of United keep missing out on top four every couple of years. How can we still get in the Champions League?
Yeah, no.
Like,
I'm already not a huge fan of them expanding it to the 36. I feel it's a bit unnecessary, and that would just be no. I don't want that at all. Those legacy spots, definitely not a fan of.
I think like because we got the League Cup as well, it's different in other countries, like Germany, for example, where the league is smaller. So there's less league games. There's also only one trophy,
Mm.
and then there is the Super Cup as well. But like if you're counting that as a trophy, grow up. And but we obviously have the FA Cup that starts in Jan for the Premier League sides. We already have the League Cup, and then we've got the 20-team league. So fitting more games in. Like we already last week was United's first week without a midweek game since the turn
Mm.
of the year.
That's
Like,
ridiculous, isn't it?
yeah, we don't need more games, guys.
Yeah, well, you do apparently. So I don't know what you're talking about. Your owners represent the club, not the fans.
Oh, well, let's get off of that. We'll keep football talk going, and then we'll move on to nonsense. Last night, the European semi-finals happened this week. PSG City, by all accounts, was PSG trying to just kill everyone.
Sorry, what?
Everyone was just saying how dirty they were. I didn't watch
Oh
the
yeah,
game because I
okay,
was working, sadly. I've watched the highlights, but all I saw was
okay.
complaints about how dirty PSG were.
Yeah, the first half, PSG looked pretty good. City were a bit, meh, and then the second half, City were definitely building into the game a lot more. And then Kevin De Bruyne's goal is it's just a cross into the box that no one gets a touch on, but there's so much like pace and swerve on it that it goes in at the back post. Fuming at the time, and then they get a free kick for the second one. Mahrez scores it, and then Idrissa Gueye just tried to actually murder Ilkay Gundogan on the pitch. I feel bad for Gundogan. First it was Thiago he tried to kill him in that match, and now Idrissa Gueye, former Everton player. Very bad tackle. It was very bad.
It kind of showed that where PSG are at, and it's the same as last season. They're very good in the back line. Their attack is obviously, you don't need me to talk about how great their attack is. It's that middle of the park where they've got like Gay, and Verratti only plays about 30 seconds a season, and a Herrera. It's so middling that it's kind of
Yeah,
that's what they're missing. They could win the Champions League with the other two areas of the pitch, but that middling part, the defensive midfielder or the box to box midfielder guy, is just the standard is such a drop off from when you got like Kimpembe at the back, and then you got
yeah.
like Mbappe and Neymar up top.
I've always felt, and I've probably mentioned to you at some point, that N'Golo Kante just feels like PSG should have done absolutely everything. And for all I know, they could have. I obviously don't know the running of Paris Saint-Germain, but N'Golo Kante just feels like a PSG
A
player that
player
just
like
gets it
that,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, like a sort of. I think Makelele went to PSG to sort of end his career, but Kante should have been signed around 2000. Well, did he go to Chelsea 2016? I think.
I think
Well,
after Sarri left,
yeah,
like
we'll go for that.
they should have
Should
gone
have
for that
splashed it.
transition. But
Yeah, definitely.
let's say Chelsea don't need to sell, and Kante seems quite happy. And now he's actually being played weirdly. If Frank Lampard's listening, it's weird what happens when you play Kante as a defensive midfielder. Absolutely baffling what happens when you just go, "Hey, he's the best defensive midfielder I've got. I'm going to play him on the right side of a free."
Genius. Yeah, that's what I do
Yeah,
as well.
so like it's just play people where should be playing.
Funny that. Yeah, it
It's
seems
so
to
weird.
work. It's like when we play Fabinho in a in defensive midfield, we seem to have a pretty good game.
Yeah.
But luckily for you, actually, this weekend, Nat Phillips may not have recovered from his hamstring injury,
Oh, thank
which has seen him
wow.
out of the last two games. So
My God.
mm, I
Nat
would
Phillips
be.
is about to become part of my staying in the Premier League side at Swansea in my FIFA career mode.
Oh, exciting.
Um,
Do tell.
well, I've started my Swansea career mode. Part of it was my strop from the European Super League. I was like, well, I'm not doing this United career mode anymore. Fuck that. So I started the Swansea career mode. Swansea, who are my closest, well, they're not going to be my closest football side, but my closest like top level football side to where I live.
Geographically, yeah.
Yeah, geographically, they're only 45 minutes away from me. And so I was like, let's go. First season in the championship, absolutely smashing it. Didn't really make any signings. I signed a young Japanese winger called Araki for 800 grand. And then I just invested the rest of the money in the academy. Won 45 out of 46 league games. Lost the final game of the season
Wow.
to Bristol City. Got smashed 3-0.
Not the only thing they got smashed, your TV, unfortunately.
But went down in history because I won the FA Cup. So
and everyone is still talking about it.
beat Spurs in the final.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
Coming to the
Spurs.
Premier League, I do have a budget of 45 million,
That seems
which
like a reasonable.
sounds like a lot, but then FIFA 21, you can't get anyone. Like, also, the thing is, you've got a wage structure to stick to. If I've signed someone for like 30 million and give them like 50 grand a week, Andre Ayew, my number 9, he's going to be asking for the similar money, isn't he?
Is he still at Swansea? Is Andre
Yeah.
still there? Is it? Oh my
Yeah, he's there.
Jeez, I'm getting old.
They got Andre Ayew, they got Jamal Lowe, who's the number
Yeah.
9. He scores a few, but he's not great. They got a young guy called Jan Danda, which is a great name.
Yeah. He's
apparently he's a good player. Like, I've
the
not seen him play.
Liverpool Academy graduate.
Oh, is he?
I think he's from Manchester, but he never played for the first team, I don't think, but he was always rated really highly in the academy. Yeah.
Yeah. So the problem was Woodman goalkeeper was on loan from Chelsea. So he's gone back. He's a player who'll never play for Chelsea. But I did approach him to try and make the signing permanent. Couldn't afford him. They had another centre half from Chelsea whose name I can't remember, Gaiti or something like that. He's gone back to Chelsea. Couldn't afford him either. So that left me with a hole in my team that I filled with Nat Phillips on loan, Sergio Romero coming in to be my goalkeeper.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I signed some guy from Celta Vigo to Peter, I think. He's a defender. I haven't actually played any of the matches yet. So I'm going to get relegated.
Look forward to it. Keep us posted. This sounds
sounds
interesting. Anything with Nat Phillips at the heart of the defence is a Champions League winning team, in my opinion.
I've got a youth striker who, because Andre Ayew went out for 6 months injured, I tried to bring in that Arsenal guy who just signed a new deal, Balogun or something. Never seen him play, but apparently he's amazing. He's just signed a new deal in real life. Got him on loan. He played 5 games, didn't score. Then Arsenal recalled him. I'm not joking. And I was like, what? So I promoted someone from the youth team because January had gone at this point. So I was like, oh, great. I've got Jamal Lowe and no other strikers. So I signed a youth player called, and best name, Ethan Ace.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
that. I like that.
He scored 15 in 14 games.
That's decent for
Yeah, he's
championship, especially. Yeah.
62 rated, but he's going to be my number 9 in the Prem.
Do you know the record for this is a weird one I'm bringing up, but the record for most goals in a championship season is as I say only 28. I would thought it would be a lot higher.
I would have thought so as well. It's a
It was-
ridiculously competitive league, and there's
Yeah.
obviously you don't really get breaks for midweek games, so sides have to rotate so much.
Yeah, and the most points tally is Reading in 05-06, 106 points.
How many games? So there's 23, 46 games.
46, isn't it?
46 times 3, or you've got the beating of me on that. It's like
1,838, I think.
Oh, look at Rachel Riley over there doing the massive.
I've got the looks, not the maths.
Oh, but yeah. So Europa League. I know there was another Champions League semi-final. What was it? Real Madrid, Chelsea.
Real, I didn't watch it, if I'm being honest.
Anyway, let's get to the important thing.
I'm so glad we brought that up.
Europa League semi-finals. Villarreal, Arsenal.
It was a bad evening for Arsenal last night.
I didn't watch the first half because I was still at work, but I watched the highlights and I've read the reports. Apparently, the first half from Arsenal was just abysmal to the point where Saka in his post-match interview basically slagged off the entire side.
Oh, really?
For the first half, yeah, he was fuming, and it was like, you were also on the pitch, Saka.
The even the team sheet, from what I remember, was a bit.
Oh, it was
naff looking. Will I get it up quickly?
Yeah, I mean, I messaged you. I looked at the team sheet and I messaged you. I was like, this is giving me Shamak up top vibes.
They wish it was that good. So
It was
had
bad.
Leno in goal. They had a back. I don't know who's playing where in this back four. Rob Holding as captain. Keep in mind,
Oof.
Rob Holding as Good Lord, how the mighty have fallen. Granit Xhaka. I don't know where he was.
Left back. He would have been left back.
Pablo Mari and Callum Chambers.
I don't know who this happened to me a few weeks ago. Was I saw Pablo Mari in the back playing for Arsenal at the back. I'm like, who is Pablo Mari?
Yeah. I know the name, but like I could not tell you a single thing about him.
Like when I had Gabriel Palestra.
Yeah,
never play.
Like the one thing I remember about him was getting sent off at Stamford Bridge for I think he headbutted Diego Costa or something.
Oof.
And that's as good as it got. But in FIFA, he was also a Brazilian centre back, which was good for him for like hybrid teams at the time. The fans will love that reference. And then looking forward, the goal scorer on the night, Nicolas Pepe, Martin Odegaard, Danny Ceballos, who got sent off midway through the second half, Thomas Partey, Bukayo Saka, and Emile Smith-Rowe.
I don't want to say I was right about Thomas Partey.
You're saying it's not party time?
No. he's coming low, and I've said my pieces on Danny Ceballos. This is the most he's ever done for Arsenal since signing, and he got sent off.
Real Madrid will be desperate to get him back.
He's so average. He can't pick out a pass like to save his life. But Thomas Partey isn't. It's only his first season, so he might come around. But I mean, he's playing a Spanish side, and he came from Atletico Madrid, so he doesn't really have that excuse.
That's often what I think. I always think that Naby Keita will play good in the matches against German opposition. No, that's not how it works, unfortunately. And then
I mean, Villarreal, they're a decent side. They had a great start to the Liga season. It's tailed off a bit now. They're not in the top 4 anymore. And them and Real Sociedad spent quite a time kind of chasing the top. They have tailed off, but I mean, it's looking like we're going to be in the final. If we're not, I'm quitting the podcast.
They have to win 4-0, is it? Yeah, you won 6-2 last night.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I'm not worried about either of these two. we should be lifting this trophy. If we don't lift this trophy, I will be amazed.
Unai Emery is the Europa League master, unless besides the time he was at Arsenal, in which case he was definitely not the
I mean,
Europa League
I feel like that was more a Sevilla thing than because
master.
Sevilla have won it since they won it last season.
Yeah, one last thing, didn't they? Yeah.
So we should be winning this by miles. But the Roma game, I didn't see the first half. I've watched the highlights, but I'm still at work sadly. And the first half wasn't great. We didn't play particularly well. We got the early goal, but then it tailed off, and Roma got the two. Second half, um,
Well,
said
Nathan,
to
I
you
went out
whatever
for a
Ollie
walk.
said to them at
I
second
went
half.
out for a walk at the time. It was 2-1 to Roma. I came back. It was 6-2 to Manchester United. I don't know what happened. Take me through it.
I said to you, I don't know what Ollie said to them at half time, but I want it recorded on my phone because I want to put my headphones on in the morning when I'm feeling a bit sleepy, can't be bothered to get up, and just hear whatever he said
Hey guys, just give it to Bruno, eh?
with his weird Norwegian Manchester accent. But my God, I'm not even completely sure what happened, but we just murdered them. Like it was like a different side. We're passing rings around them. Like, and
Were Roma actually like that good in the first half?
no, it was a very average game.
Yeah.
Like Edin Dzeko always scores against United. I think now he's got 5 in 4, something like that.
You did Old Trafford, if I'm right in thinking. He scored in the 6-1 game. I know that much.
Yeah. And the other one was a penalty, a contentious penalty, but it's that stupid handball law. Like Pogba went in for a tackle, and then the ball hit his hand whilst he was mid tackle, which by the law is a handball, but it's one of the things we go, we really need to change this rule. Because he was
Yeah.
diving in for a tackle. Like,
Yeah.
it was stupid, but like you got to play with it. It would have been a penalty if it was like the other end as well. And yeah, the second half though, Pogba with a good goal, 2 goals from Cavani, who got 2 goals and 2 assists last night. And Mason Greenwood came on and got a goal as well to give us a 6-2 advantage.
In a semi-final, winning a
Well,
match 6-2.
the last time we played Roma in European competition, we won 7-2, or 7-1.
Yeah. 7. Yeah, didn't Alan Smith score in that game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but apparently we were the first side to score 6 in European semi-final since Real Madrid in 1964.
Really? Funny enough, we bet Roma 5-2.
Yeah, I saw that.
2018, I remember. Yeah, we were 5 up. We took Salah off, and then we conceded 2 late goals, and then they bet us 4-2 in the Stadio Olimpico. So we went through, what's that, 7-6 on aggregate?
Yeah, but there you go. Like it looks like the semi-final hoodoo is over.
I should hope so. If it isn't, like Ollie's got to be having words with himself.
I think Ollie should be. He should resign if we lose 4-0.
To be like, I know we're joking that, but like really, like something needs to happen if
Watching
if it goes
Roma
that
play,
badly wrong in 7 days.
like it's not like when it's gonna sound like I'm being really horrible to Roma, but it's not like when PSG smashed Barcelona that time, and then the second leg you were like, well, it's Barcelona, they can do this. You didn't expect it, but that Roma side, they weren't great. Bear in mind, Edin Dzeko is 35. And he's up top for them as their main goal scorer. They got like Mkhitaryan had a game reminiscent of his time at United, where he just by that I mean he was on the pitch, but he didn't do anything. Like
Speaking about Mkhitaryan and not doing anything, did he ever play for Arsenal? I actually refuse to
I've
believe
got
that.
no idea.
That deal with Alexis Sanchez and Mkhitaryan could be just for everyone the worst transfer in the history of football. No one benefited from that.
It has to be. It has to be one of them.
Yeah.
Like it's weird that Cavani he's obviously he's still a world class player and he's still playing unbelievably well. But it's weird to think he's our best number 7 since Ronaldo left, and he's like 34 now.
Come on,
Like,
Michael Owen was some footballer.
Yeah, it's got that. All I remember is the
Said
winner
no one.
against City.
Said no one after 2006.
But
There was also a
incredible
return
performance.
for Mike Smalling on the night.
Yep, gave away the penalty and got booked.
Agent Smalling.
There's a picture going around of David De Gea, Mkhitaryan, Smalling, and Matic just stood in like a circle having a conversation after the match. I was just like, two of them have gone. Can the other two go? You go with them. Go join Roma, guys.
That's the dream for all United fans everywhere.
Pretty much, but fantastic game. The only point really took away from it was there was some like Paul Scholes, particularly afterwards. People were just having a go at Fred again. I talk about his limitations and that, and yeah, I think we could use an upgrade on. But I think Fred's had a great season. Like
who would your ideal Fred replacement be?
Paul Scholes. No, just come out of retirement again.
Get the boots on.
I mean, you can fantasy sign all you want, but I'm not sure we really need to. If it depends if Paul Pogba's staying. If Pogba is staying, and presumably Van der Beek, because he is going to start getting more game time eventually, so we're told. Like we've got Scott McTominay. I'd say Matic and Fred could probably just go, and I don't know who's in the youth academy, but James Garner is playing really well for Nottingham Forest, but maybe just someone like that could come in because we need strength in other areas. We can't go out. If with the market as it is, we're going to sign a centre half. Apparently, we're going to go back in for Sancho. There's all sorts of rumours about Haaland and Kane and everything doing the rounds. Whatever. I don't know what's true and not. But I just don't know if we'll have the money to sign someone. Like not for another 50 million quid that Fred cost. So it depends who's about. But Declan Rice maybe in the Jesse Lingard deal if Lingard is going to West Ham.
That'd be your ultimate ideal, but realistic at the same time.
I think that's realistic because if West Ham do want Lingard, which like why wouldn't they after the way he's been playing for them? Like I think they are going to try and get him. Declan Rice is going to cost 50, 60 million quid anyway. Jesse Lingard's easily worth 120. So 120 pounds though.
At a minimum. Come on.
No, he's probably going to. What is he? 28 now. Probably 20 million. I think he's going into his last year on the deal. So split the difference. Pay 30 million for Rice. You get Jesse Lingard as well.
Less than Anderson all those years ago.
Oh God! But what a win!
Yeah. Well, then before we touch on, I think we'll wrap up with the Liverpool United game because it's it's always a big game when Liverpool play United, but it doesn't really have the same pull to it. I know we've got top four on the line, but it's not like hugely contested. I thought I'd break it up a bit. We'd go back with another installment of fan favorite Gibbs Fibs. For anyone who has forgotten, I imagine there's a lot of you. This is where I tell Nathan 3 stories, one of which is true, 2 of which are not, and he has to find the truth.
Okay.
Ready for this installment of Gibbs Fibs? So I will just read through the stories chronologically.
Let's go.
Story 1. I supported Arsenal before deciding on Liverpool.
Nah.
Story 2. While in my minor year of Gaelic football, I was suspended for 6 months. Story 3. One lunchtime in primary school, I decided to stop playing and be the referee. Nathan, which of those stories do you want to
third
get
one
your
jumped
teeth
out
into
immediately.
first? Do you want to dissect them, get some inside knowledge?
Supported Arsenal. Like,
do you want me to throw a case forward for it?
There's a lot of nah, you just don't strike me as someone that would do that. So I don't know, support. You know so much about Liverpool's history, you know nothing about Arsenal. You don't even know who Pablo Mari is.
Well, I don't support them anymore. This is
After
going
you
back
saw
a bit.
Lee Dixon in the toilet, you were like, maybe I do like Arsenal.
Oh, this is the team for me. But no, I was always maybe support. Maybe support is a strong word, but I always liked Arsene Wenger, and I enjoyed the team of the Fabregas, Nazari, RVP, that sort of era. And my cousins were and still are Arsenal fans, so I used to spend a lot of time as a child out there and used to watch a lot of games with them.
Yeah,
but then common sense prevailed, and I on Liverpool.
And I know there's a strong Irish following to Liverpool, so I feel like Liverpool just would have been all around. Whereas I don't know if Arsenal really. No one supports Arsenal. Not really.
The other thing is where I come from, it's basically all Liverpool, United, or Arsenal. I actually know a good few Arsenal fans. Don't know a single Chelsea fan though. Don't know a single Chelsea fan.
Well, they're all City fans now.
That's a good point. So, which of these 2 stories do you want to dissect first? The the Gaelic football 6 month suspension, or the
Yeah,
referee.
I forgot about that. I really jumped on the wrong thing. Like I was like, he's not an Arsenal fan. Whereas you just said you got suspended for Gaelic football for 6 months. No, is this something? Did you get suspended from school for 6 months?
No, no. So in my minor year, which is under 18s essentially of Gaelic football, I was suspended for 6 months.
I just don't think you know anything about Gaelic football. Like we've had the chat about Gaelic football, and you're like, I don't know anything. And I feel like you would have mentioned it by now.
Can I just say I've played, like, everyone plays Gaelic football. From everyone from Ireland plays Gaelic football growing up. Just
But
because
that
I
would have
don't.
only been that would have only been like 3 years ago, though.
Do you want to get into the story? Do you want me
Yeah,
to?
go on then.
Yeah.
What did you get suspended for?
I failed a drugs test. No. So I played Gaelic up until under 14s originally from my local team. Not my exact local team, but sort of about 15 minutes away. And I quit after starting secondary school because I went to secondary school somewhere else, which was sort of the opposite side of that. Blah 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 da da da. Basically, in my second last year of secondary school, so about 4 or 5 years on, I decided I wanted to get back into Gaelic football. So I transferred to the club that was where my secondary school was. But what happens in Gaelic is when you transfer to another team, you need to become registered by the like official body, which is very weird and complicated. So basically, I was ineligible to play from January until the end of July, and then the season finishes in August.
What was it done for like pigeon mail?
I don't know.
What did it take 6 months for?
Every week, I had to go up to the coach and go, "Am I playing today, coach?" And he'd just look at me and just go. I shook my head for the audio listeners, but yeah, I ended up only playing 3 matches. We won two, lost the one, which was in the, I think, quarter or semi final. And that was my 6 month suspension, just training every week, not allowed to play.
Nah, I'm not having that. What was the third one?
One lunchtime in primary school, I decided to stop playing and become the referee.
This jumped out to me. What's the backstory? It seems like something you would do.
Well, I was bored of being the best player on the pitch day in, day out, so I thought I'd ruin everyone
Always.
else's fun. Thought I'd just ruin everyone else's fun. I bought a notepad in the local sort of bookshop, and during first break on the day, so we had 2 breaks, obviously, in primary school. I don't know if everyone else did. First break, and then lunchtime, which was like big break. And during the first break, I went to the staff room. I had everything out of the whole gear. So about the notepad, I got like a blank A4 piece of paper, and I like cut out like 2 rectangles, colored them in yellow and red. Then I went to the staff room, which was where the teachers all to be hanging out, and and I laminated them. So I was properly prepared. Didn't have a whistle though.
You
I
were
wasn't.
allowed in the staff room?
Yeah, were you not?
No, it's for
Yeah.
staff.
Funny that I should have guessed. Nah, it was sort of a country sort of primary school, sort of different laws, different laws up there.
Laws. Teachers and kids can mingle.
Yeah, and just went out, ruined everyone's fun. I remember sending off one of my friends at the time because I thought any handball was deliberate.
Oh,
And
you're a real
it was,
FA about
it
it.
was an instant yellow card for handball, and
Oof.
he was not impressed, and I can understand why.
They're all good stories.
So you're saying the Arsenal one straight away is
I don't think
ironically
that's true.
the Arsenal one is ironically a load of old arse.
Yeah, I'm not buying that. I'm going to be really disappointed in you if you supported Arsenal and then switch sides.
So you're thinking the 6 month the 6 month suspension, or the was Darragh Gibbons the original referee?
I just find it. I'm just going to be stunned if it took 6 months to register. Even there would have been computers. It's just done it instantly.
Not in the West of Mayo, Nathan, I'm
Not,
afraid.
not in Ireland. See, the last one sounds the most true, but again, like last time, it might just be someone else's story that you've stolen and just adapted for yourself. So maybe for the 6 months thing, I'm going to go for the.
Sorry,
Go on
just
then.
probably
Go.
doesn't influence your decision. 2 of the 3 stories have elements of truth. One is not true at all.
I'm gonna go for the referee one.
You think the referee one is the true
Yeah,
story?
that was my gut instinct immediately.
I can honestly say I have never stopped playing football and overly wanted to be the referee doing up
Uh,
laminated yellow and red
I
cards.
thought maybe because you made it out like you were a kid,
Yeah,
super young.
yeah. I was. What did happen though was there was a sort of a problem with fighting in the in the football matches at break time. So the principal decided, because he couldn't be bothered himself, he decided he'd pick one of us to be the referee. And of course, I was chosen first, and then he conveniently forgot about it, and it just sort of got forgotten about. So for one break time, I was just stood there against the wall, just sort of watching the match, just not giving any decisions away. Didn't want to be there. But no, Nathan, I was suspended. Well, I say suspended. I was
Ah,
ineligible to play for 6 months. So I paid, I think it was like 150 quid to like
Jesus.
register, and I ended up playing like 3 matches. Yeah.
Oh my word.
Don't play Gaelic football, kids. Stick to stick to the football.
Stick
That's where
to
the money
good
is.
football. Oh, I'm just glad you never supported Arsenal.
I did not. I did not. I did like that team. I did like that Arsene Wenger sort of period, and my cousins do support Arsenal. But nah, I was Liverpool through and through.
Yeah. I like that Arsenal side as well, but only on paper because they never did anything.
They lost a lot of quarter semi-finals of the Champions League against English
Yeah,
opposition.
it took them nearly 10 years to win the FA Cup, so
Yeah,
that massive drought.
that's a good point.
We didn't even touch on Spurs losing the League Cup final.
I forgot that even
It's just
happened
not
this
it's
week.
not surprising either. Poor Harry
Yeah.
Kane. As we start to wind down here, because I've got to go to work. Or
Very early. I don't think we
fencing.
touched on it's actually
Oh, it's 10:30 in the morning,
yeah.
guys. We need to fit this in somewhere. Sorry, I've been working weird shifts, and Darragh just can't be bothered. So,
Yep, he's got a point.
but I guess we'll end with Harry Kane chat 'cause there's all the rumours that depending on who they get as their next
we
manager, they're
didn't
looking at the Ajax manager at the minute.
we didn't even touch on the Liverpool United game.
Oh, okay. Should we
Yeah.
touch on it?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
we're
we can
gonna
come back
win,
to Harry Kane another
then
time.
you won't get Champions League football.
That's good. That's a good point. Will I throw some stats at you quickly just to maybe change your mind a bit?
Okay,
So Liverpool have won at Old Trafford once since 2009.
good.
3 of the last 4 Premier League meetings have ended as draws.
Yep.
Liverpool have led just twice at Old Trafford since 2009, only
Uh,
winning one of them. Liverpool unbeaten in 5 Premier League games, unbeaten away from Anfield since Leicester City bet them in mid-February.
Okay.
United have only lost once since the 1st of November. This is Sheffield United at the end of January. And United have not beaten Liverpool in the Premier League since March 2018.
Yeah, we did. Those stats are convenient because you do leave out the FA Cup game that we won like 2 months ago.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember that at all.
I've seen those stats floating around and just no one mentions that game.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
I think it's
FA,
because we're out the FA Cup now as well, so no one cares. But
yeah, forget about
which
it.
is weird because the game that happened like 4 days before that was horrifically boring.
I don't know, Chopper. We had
So
to
I
make
don't
a
know.
separate podcast. It was that entertaining.
Yeah, and no one talks about the one that had 5 goals in it like three
Yeah.
days later.
No, it was really good. Yeah, it was a
That was
really
a
good
great
game.
game. Well, let's make some predictions, and if one of them's right, I don't know. We'll send the other one a tube of Smarties.
Well, I just go the most boring, but most likely to be correct because
0-0.
it always is. Yep.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, I'll have more faith. I'll go 1-0 United, and it will be a penalty in the 89th minute.
Imagine a Bruno Fernandes penalty in injury time to win it. I think that would be the start of World War III.
I think Klopp would drop to his knees. I think we would see it. I think we would see a manager knee drop. And
That'd
Ollie
be a
would
good moment.
he would have his arms crossed, and then he would just do his little, and then cross them again. And there's also a strong chance he will be sitting down.
I look forward to it. It'll be good. It'll be good.
It won't. It'll be really boring.
No, I'm trying to build myself up to it now.
We're going to start Scott and Fred as DMs and just kill the game.
Nat Phillips won't be back in time, so it'll be Fabinho at centre back with Kabak. And it'll be a midfield of probably Wijnaldum, Thiago, and Oh God, Milner,
All right, fixing the
probably.
lineups. Well, Henderson will be back in goal. I think it'll be Shaw, Maguire, Bailly, Wan-Bissaka, McTominay, Fred, Pogba, Bruno, Rashford, Cavani. Maybe Greenwood instead of Rashford because Greenwood's been scoring a lot lately.
Yeah, I'm thinking of our front three, and I'm thinking what's the best way to do it. And being a massive hypocrite, I think I'm going to stick with the front three. I think Shota just actually offers something off the bench, whereas Mane just never does. Maybe he can start all right, but I'd like to see Shota and Shaqiri definitely come on relatively early in the second half.
Mm. Wan-Bissaka against Mane is always fun to watch.
For you.
I love that there's a compilation video going around of Jamie Carragher saying about how Pep can't start Sterling against United against Wan-Bissaka, and he said it like 5 times in the last games. It's just Carragher being like, you just can't start him against him.
Thought he was in the call for a second there.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, will I finish up with some trivia?
Yeah, please do.
I've touched on this before, but because it's Liverpool United, we're going back to the 20th of August 1971. Do you remember, Nathan?
Yep, I was there.
You were in high school back then, I think.
Yep, as a teacher.
With an afro.
Yeah.
The game is Manchester United versus Arsenal. Where was the venue? It was Anfield.
Yeah.
Manchester United played a home game at Anfield in August 1971. Do you know the Manchester United manager at the time?
Ooh. How long ago was this? It's
It was
1971.
3 years after the European Cup.
I don't.
So Matt Busby had left in the summer,
Yeah,
and the United manager, never heard of him, Franco Farrell.
don't remember. I knew it wasn't Busby, but I
Yeah.
couldn't remember. I just don't know. I'm a terrible fan. I should take this top off.
And
If when it gets cancelled off YouTube.
the game was apparently that forgettable that Alan Gowling, who was a Manchester United scorer on the day, when interviewed by The Guardian in 2010, claims he doesn't even remember the match taking place, let alone him scoring the goal to equalise. And neither does United keeper on the day, Alex Stepney, who I think is a bit of a Manchester United legend.
I can't say I know the name.
Alex Stepney, I think he started the European Cup final, didn't he? Do you know one
It
thing?
was like 50 years ago, man.
One thing I know about Alex Stepney is he once dislocated his jaw from shouting at his defense.
Oh.
There's one for you. But Bobby Charlton scored a free kick to give United the lead at the Anfield Road end before Brian Kidd, Manchester City legend, wrapped it up late on. And for anyone wondering why Manchester United were playing at Anfield, there was sort of crowd problems at the time. It was that sort of period, and the animosity between clubs, between Liverpool and Manchester United, didn't exist at the time, which seems mental. I can't imagine that ever not being there.
Well, it really started with Fergie's knocking Liverpool off their pedestal.
Yeah, I'd say it was probably the 80s, wasn't it, when Liverpool were sort of successful, and then Ferguson takes over in 86, is it?
Yeah, 86, and it really is like it's a rivalry that is the biggest club in the biggest match, sorry, in English football. Certainly.
By fair.
Yeah, but its history isn't that long as a proper rivalry, which is quite weird to think about.
Yeah, I can't imagine a world without it. But Liverpool received 15% of the gate receipts on the day, the capacity 27,500 on the day. United also had to pay Arsenal not compensation, but up until, this is another very fun fact, up until the 1980s, gate receipts were shared between the two clubs playing on the day. Never knew that. So in the history books, Manchester United have won a match 3-1 at home at Anfield.
Yeah, you are, everyone. Yeah, we did touch on that a few weeks ago.
I don't remember why it came up, but
yeah. That's probably just a random bit of trivia that we decided to throw out there, but that is the story. But another chapter of United Liverpool coming up. It's going to be boring. So sorry, guys.
I always think, no, this is going to be the one where it's like a proper good game. It's two good teams going against each other. Never happens.
It's like the derby. The derby's never a good game. There was the Pogba comeback game about 3 years ago now is the only good Manchester derby this decade.
Yeah, it's the September 2009, the Michael Owen derby. That's the
It's the
only
Robin
one.
van Persie free kick one, which is good,
Well,
but
yeah.
it wasn't a good game. Like in the 6-1 City one was
Oh,
obviously
really?
good if you're a City fan, but I'm talking about as a competitive match.
Yeah.
They're never good.
Even like the Merseyside derby, I think there's probably only one in the last few years. Yeah, we bet them 5-2 last season, which was sort of an enjoyable game.
With the Jagielka goal from about 5 miles away.
I love that one. Yeah, that was a great game.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening / watching. Hopefully both, if you are on YouTube. If not, hopefully annotations work. How do you think annotations work with your accent if people need them?
I don't know. I can't even understand what I'm trying to say half the time. I think I just talk too fast and a bit too thick.
Do you think YouTube just as like a parentheses, just as Irish as you're talking?
rambles in foreign as I try to form a sentence.
Well, you can find Project Dits and all the other affiliated podcasts at Project Dits. It's at Project DITS. You can find me at Nathan Greenaway. My other podcasts, you can find me on Rogue Opinions every week at Rogue_Opinion. My comedy scripted podcast, That Ain't Sport. A new episode went out. What day is it? It's Friday at time recording, so 2 days ago. So go give that a listen if you want to. That's That Ain't Sport, wherever you get your podcasts, or at That Ain't Sport on Twitter. Darragh, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Gibbons_Darragh, Gibbons_DA or AGH.
We're on Twitter as well.
We are branching out, Nathan.
Yeah, I don't remember what our handle is. At +_added, I think.
We're getting the hang of this.
It'll be in the description. I forget we're on YouTube. We can do that. It'll be down there.
Everything is down there.
It is. That's a great way to end. All right, guys. He's just realised.
Feel free to clip that out of context. Yeah.
Someone send me a GIF of that. All right, guys. We'll speak to you next week. Bye now.
Good luck.